Hello everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Owl Studio. Welcome, so happy you could stop by. I have I have three ideas that I'm going to be adding to my ring-bound vintage bird journal. And these are from the kit that is by Victoria Design, so it will be a design team project when I finish. The kit is not available yet, but it will be on June the 18th when you'll then see the flip through of this final project that I've been working on. So today I am going to be doing a tattered stacked pocket. And it's going to be looking like this pocket right here. And the idea came to me, well, before I do that, I'm also going to be working with this particular page. And I have a really fun idea that I'm going to be working with this. And I think it's an idea that, of course, you could probably use with other paper as well. So I have those two things, and I have a third one that I'm going to show you really fast. But anyways, with this torn pocket, you do get in the kit, a corner pocket like this. And you can use, of course, any corner pocket, but this is how it came. And it's about the size of it, and it's okay, but it's a little small for what I wanted to do with it. And so I thought, well, how can I make this pocket a little larger? And in doing so, I really like the effect, and it's something I'm going to do in the future as well. It's best that the pocket is printed on a lightweight, some kind of a cardstock, because you want your pocket to be sturdy. But double-sided scrapbook paper would work well with this idea as well. So I just, cut the pocket out and tore part of it off around the edges like this. And this is how it is printed out this way, where you are expected to tear the sides of it off. And if you're making your own pocket, just remember to add some little flaps. It's about a 1/2 inch on these two sides here, miter the corner, and then fold it under, and then you have a little pocket that will hold more than just, one tag. It will hold 2 or 3. And so the idea is that the pocket all needs to be with a cardstock. And so other pieces of ephemera I print out in the kit, and this is another one of them, and it's a vintage envelope. And again, you can use whatever prints you have. But the idea is to build this pocket up with the torn edges, just, meandering out in irregular fashion, but making sure that the extensions have this cardstock on it, because if you put just regular paper there, I just don't know how that would hold up with putting things inside it all the time. But once you have this background paper, let me grab my glue over here. Once you have this built up, then you can stick, paper on the inside of it. So I'm not going to stick paper, I'm not going to glue it yet. You got to keep building it up. And so this will be, and I might just glue down a little edge just to hold it for a minute where I like it to be on my page. And then I just start slipping things into it. So I'm going to put this little aged piece of paper. I'm going to slip that there for a little bit of color on the yellow there. And I'm going to slip in this little tiny bit there. So it's really a good way to use up little tiny bits and pieces that you have. And actually, probably shouldn't have glued that. I want this to come out a little further. Yeah, there we go. Just a little further. There we are. So I can see the postmark. I wanted to see that postmark on there. I like that part of it. And so by doing this, then, you've got this ragged, torn, built-up little pocket. And I really like this idea. I think it's so cute. And now I will glue it down into place. And I'll take it off of here. So it's just a matter of, first of all, gluing these pieces down where I like them to be. So we'll just do that really fast. There. And we'll glue this little guy down here. Yeah, trying to keep the same pattern as I had before. And as long as the edges are glued, that's all you really need, is to get the edges glued up there. There we go. So that's looking good. With that part, and of course I inked around all the pieces before I even started. And there we go. So let me get the glue on in here, get around those edges there, and guesstimate how far down that's going to go. And there we are. I like that. I like that look there. And then just sort of get into any of the corners that might have been missed. Nope. And maybe a little bit along here. Looking good. And so now this is ready to put into my ring binder. And now you can put 2 or 3 pockets in there, and you can put large pockets in there, or large ephemera in there, and that's what I was hoping to do, because the original is kind of small and I didn't know how well these larger pieces would fit, but it looks really cool. It looks like it's all built up. So I like this tattered layer pocket idea, and I am going to use this in the future. And the next idea is I'm going to be working with this particular page. And I really was fascinated by the circles on here. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to print this out twice, right? Because you've got these really cool borders that you can use in other places when you decorate. And then you'll have this left over, which is pretty nifty. And that's where I made this journaling card from. So I ended up cutting two identical pieces and made sure they lined up pretty good. But 2 pieces out of the two different prints on the paper. And one of them I mounted to cardstock without cutting it down. I mounted that one to cardstock. I plan to be putting it on the back where I have not yet covered anything, and I'm going to have this pocket be the covering rather than put more paper down that's just going to get covered up anyways. I cut the size, and of course what I meant by avoiding the holes is you don't want to cover up the holes with your pocket, so you always want to be remembering to, whatever you glue down, you glue so the holes are free. All right, here on the side. So I'm going to put the reinforcers down now because I don't want to put them over the pocket. And I have printed out on some cardstock a print that matches the paper here. Okay, and there we go. And you can use store-bought reinforcers as well, and just go over them with a little distress ink to take the whiteness off of them, if you would like to do that. All right, so this will be ready to glue down. Now this is going to be, of course, the pocket. So let me get my glue and glue the 3. Oh, no, not yet. Oh dear, the most important step. I am forgetting the most important step. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so what I want to do is I want to create some holes in here. And I have some die cuts that are round. Obviously, they need to be round. And I'm going to put these through my die cut machine. Now I do not want to get too close to the edge either way. So this bird's probably out because he's just way too close to the edge over here. So I'm going to choose, actually I'm going to choose 3 birds. I'm going to choose this bird, I'm going to choose this bird, and I might choose the cardinal. So I think I will choose these 3 birds here and put this through my die cutter and cut out those holes. And I'll be right back. Alrighty, my holes are cut out on my pocket. And now I've got these 3 medallions that will be kind of fun to play with. And then I discovered too that when I put the pocket on and you take the tag out, you'll see the cardboard. Oops. You'll see the cardboard. So I went ahead and I put down a scrap piece of paper underneath it so that when you took out your tag, you know, you've got something to look at. Anyhow, and so that is, the pocket is all set. Now we're going to make the journaling card or the tag or whatever you want to call it that goes inside. So I cut a piece of cardstock that is, you know, a good 1/4 of an inch smaller, because what we need to do is we need to allow for the glue. It's going to take up room when we glue our pocket in on each side. So you want this tag to be smaller than the pocket. We may still end up taking a little off the edge yet, but this is the general size I'm going to start with. I'm going to take my second sheet and I'm going to lay it over and match up these diagrams here best that I can. So that matches pretty well. I'm carefully going to turn this over, and let's see here. Yep. I may have cut this one off just a tiny bit from the first sheet, but so now I'm going to lay my tag over it, and this is the edge of where it's going to go in and out, and then I'm leaving my border all the way around, and I'm going to trace all the way around that section like that. And so my tag then is going to fit in the pocket. So this is going to be glued on these 3 sides, and this side will be open. So that's the way I laid my tag in there. Now I'm going to glue my tag to the back of this, and I'm going to match it up with that line when I get the glue on. And right inside those lines. Okay. And I will cut around the perimeter, and then we'll see how well our tag fits inside the pocket. Okey-dokey. Alright, so make sure we've left room, yep, all the way around. That looks great. Now I'm ready to glue my pocket in. Now a second thing that probably would have been even easier would have been to cover your cardstock totally with a random, you know, background paper. Covered, you know, so we'll pretend this is a cardstock piece that's been covered. And then put the design over, and then you could just stick in your birds that you had cut out from the top part here. like that, lift it up, and then glued these in place. And then your tag would have this random background with these, you know, in the key places they needed to be. So that's another thing you could do as well, which would probably be easier, I think, in some ways than trying to line it up, but maybe not. But that would be another way that you could also do this. So let me get the little pocket glued in. Like so. I want to make sure that I cover up, or I don't cover up the holes here on the edge there. Okay. So here's my pocket. All right. So I need to let this dry before I slip the tag inside. All right, I've got my pocket glued in and the Fabri-Tac is nice and dry. And I have my card. And what I'm going to do with the journaling card is I'm going to round out the corners like so. I think rounding out the corners does make it a little easier to slide in and out. And I'm also going to add this little tab here that I made. Now the tab is not going to go in the middle, and it doesn't have to actually. But it really can't go in the middle because it'll cover up that one bird. So we're just going to put it right like so. There. And voila, we have it finished, and we have a tag, we have a journaling card now that will fit inside. And there is your, it's almost like the little hidden journaling space. You know, you really wouldn't know about it unless you pulled out this little tab. So there you go, and there's that idea. Now I have one last idea that I'm going to be doing, and so the challenge I really felt for a ring-bound journal is coming up with enough journaling spaces, because if you just, you know, you don't want 50 or 20 of these pieces of cardboard, it would just, you know, be too much. So you really have, I really felt I had to maximize every little page to get the full amount out. So some of the digitals have this wonderful journaling space, you know, already on the decorative paper. And I didn't want to cover that up, but I wanted to add to the journaling space here. So I made a belly band, a little tiny belly band to go across there. And then here is a flip tag. That also comes, this also comes in the kit, this flip tag. And I'm going to put the flip tag and put it in the journal like so, so that you can write on the tag and you can write still on your page as well. So why don't I just go ahead and put that in there right now. And this way you kind of like maximized, you know, your writing space. And I felt like so. Yep. So there we go. Okay, there are 3 projects that we've done today. And give a little bit closer look at the tattered pocket there to give you a better idea what that looks like. And here are the holes that line up in here. So cute. And a little closer look perhaps at that one. So thanks a lot for watching today. I so appreciate it. And we will see you later. And please subscribe to see how this little ring bound journal turns out. and you have a great rest of your day. Bye.